All right. This one's going to be a little different. No music. No fun intro. Just some raw truth. I'm Dick, and I'm an addict. I was somehow gonna put that in the video as like a 12-step humor, trying to make light of it and whatnot. Because it's one of my personality traits. Because I've been an addict for like 30 years. And I was battling how to bring this information to everyone. Because I always try to keep it positive, and, the name of the channels dictate the day, and I'm Dick, and I'm encouraging you and myself to take your day. And, yeah. At the same time, I know life can be crazy, and there are millions of people dealing with all kinds of stuff. And one I am fairly familiar with is addiction. I've tried to start this video like 5 or 6 times already. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning, and I've been up since, I don't know, a little bit before 6. And I've been brainstorming, and then I've been starting the video, and then stopping the video. And then I just told myself, somebody out there needs to hear this, because they're sitting in a cold sweat, staring at the corner of the room, looking like there's no light at the end. Here's another thing. I am not a medical doctor. I don't know if you couldn't tell by looking at me. And I'm going to try to be as transparent as possible. And I'm going to try not to cry, because I feel it welling up inside me already. Because I'm currently working on some sobriety again. I can't believe it, but I can. But I want to share this to help someone, and to also encourage myself to stay with this clarity, this sobriety. I'll start at the beginning-ish. I'm trying to make this as fast as possible. Look, man, I'm almost 50 years old, and I have struggled with addiction, like I said, for a long time. And I come from a long line of addicts. I don't know if, genetically, I've heard some doctors say that it is a thing. When you see addiction destroy your family as a child, you kind of swear it off, and like, I will never do that. But sometimes, like, I know people, kids that grew up with addiction around them, and they saw how devastating it was, and it never infiltrated their life. But my story's a little different. So I'll try to sum it up. If you want more details, let me know in the comments. If you want suggestions, I'm here for that. But like I said, I'm not a specialist. I'm just living it. Okay? So I never really had a problem with alcohol. I had to have it. I mean, I've been a bartender for over 30 years, so I have definitely spent hundreds, if not thousands of nights, inebriated beyond what anyone should. And I never felt like I had to continue to drink. Sometimes, of course, I would treat my hangovers with more alcohol, da-da-da-da-da-da. But during my past, rock and roll past, not that I was a rock and roll guy. I was just living vicariously with the habits of a rock and roll guy. Yes, alcohol, yes, cannabis. Occasionally, I would, take a painkiller or two, and they were all right. Not that big a deal. But I would say somewhere in my 20s, I had some injuries that I got prescribed pharmaceutical grade, painkillers, opiates. And they were, made life easier, more pain free, and didn't feel like I was addicted. A lot of people have this story. But then I started to use them kind of recreationally because it felt good. And I was still bartending and doing my thing. And then I started just taking them all the time and never really noticed any true withdrawals because I wasn't taking a lot at first. But yeah, trying to make it short. After a while, it became a problem. And one thing led to another, and I went from like a regular old hydrocodone kind of Vicodin situation. And this was, back in the day when the OCs, if you know what I'm talking about, the Oxycontins. And then there was generic versions, Roxycontin, I believe is what it was. And I basically worked myself up to a habit of about, this is crazy, 10, 30 milligram Roxycontins a day. So we're talking about 300 milligrams. Right before I switched to the heroin, I said it, I was doing 3, maybe 4 80s a day, 80 milligram Oxycontins. And we were doing things, we weren't taking them like, you're not supposed to take that many anyway, but we were, using our nostrils to ingest them, taking the time release coating off, the whole thing. And then I moved into the hardcore stuff. Swore off any intravenous use. Never gonna do that. That's crazy. And then I did. I remember the addiction and the grind to find my substances every day became this full-blown mission. Every day I would sell some to get some to da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then it just became this hardcore, hard to get, hard to keep what I needed. A buddy brought over it was my pill buddy. We started this journey together. And man, you think I would have saw some type of writing on the wall. He was now homeless. And this guy was a super powerful executive chef, rich, prestigious name on the menu. I bartended, and one day he was like, "Hey, I got some H." And I was like, "Okay." He was like, "There's several ways you could do it, this, that, the other." And so we started smoking it. He was always ahead of the game, though. He went from smoking it to shooting it. And I wouldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't bring myself to stick a needle in my veins, Weird feeling. And I always told myself there's no way I could ever do that. No way. But I lost my job due to my addiction. And was kind of like running out of money. And I had a big chunk of it that I was smoking. And I called my buddy and I was like, "Man, I don't know what I'm going to do when this runs out," because I had felt what happens when you don't have any. And I didn't want anything else to do with that. hot, cold, uncomfortable, restless leg. Oh God, you name it. It's a dark place. But he said, dude, that amount you got, if you start shooting today, if you take a shot today, it'll last you way longer than smoking it, because smoking it's a waste. Man, I remember sitting in my garage. This is like 20 years ago. And I had Google pulled up on my laptop on how to take an intravenous shot. And he told me how to prepare it. Actually, I'd watched him prepare it before because he had already been doing the damn thing. Anyway, I take my first shot, and in that moment, man, I've only said this to people in person. I haven't said this to the world, per se. But in that moment, I took that shot, and within seconds, I knew that it was over. This could be triggering. I apologize. This is just my story. I had an orgasm in my pants after taking that shot, seconds after taking it, that warm all over you. And I wasn't even, I didn't think that was possible. And in that moment, I looked to my inner self and I said, it's a wrap. Those words, it's a wrap. And I knew it had its hooks all the way in me. Yeah. So, I don't know, maybe 2 years go by and I'm hardcore shooting and hustling and attempting to stay high and all this stuff. Well, it reached a precipice to where I couldn't do that anymore because I was getting so sick in between trying to find more stuff that it became impossible. So I knew I needed to do something. So I tried the methadone clinic. And I won't go into full detail because we're already at 12 minutes. But it was dark. At the same time, about a month, maybe 2 months, maybe it was a little bit longer. Man, it's hard to remember. It's real cloudy around those times. My ex-wife initiated a divorce. And I am trying to come off of the heroin and regulate my methadone. Yada, yada. But I'll just sum it up. Long story short, went through the divorce. That whole fun time. I had to move away from the state I was in, and if you know how methadone works, you can't just go in and get it with the clinics because it's government regulated. So I cold turkeyed heroin or methadone, cold turkeyed it, which was one of the darkest, scariest times in my life. There's other details around it that I won't even share. But if you've done it or if you're doing it, damn, I am with you, brothers and sisters. I understand. There is light, though. I swear to you, there is light. You just got to get there. And I know that journey is different for everybody. But anyway, so I cold turkey. Man, I don't know. Maybe it took a month and a half, 2 months of all of the DTs, the detoxification, the withdrawal, just everything. I feel like you're going insane. And, I was still living like a wild man because of the divorce, and I was dealing with my kids and the whole custody and all the things, and I found myself homeless again and sober off of the opiates, but I was now drinking, I was still bartending, I was still doing the damn thing. I was actually incorporating some other extracurricular activities. If you had it, I would do it. I was in a very dark place in my life. And this wasn't the first time. You'd think I'd learn from the lessons of my, because I've been through these cycles so many times. So I find my way to, I think they call it California sobriety or something because you're still using cannabis. But about 5 years ago, I found kratom. And kratom is a plant. If my research is correct, don't quote me. It's related to the coffee plant. It's from Southeast Asia. It's a stimulant in small amounts. It's I guess we could call it a depressant or a sedative in larger amounts. And I knew people, because I had flirted with it before when I was trying to come off the methadone cold turkey, and it did nothing at the time. But I was like at my e-cig shop, another addiction I'm working on. Next, that's the next one. And they had some there. And they explained it to me, and I was like, oh, all right, small amount, stimulant. There was some people in conversation that I had talked about using it. And some people liked it, some people thought, oh, it was bunk. Well, I started using it. Didn't really notice a whole lot of effects. I noticed a little. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool stimulant kind of thing. Well, my addictive personality took completely over. And I would say about a year in, it was a part of my daily regimen, and I was taking it 3 to 4 times a day. A couple more years go by, and I am taking it way too much. It's not even really affecting me like it is anymore, but I feel like I still need to take it because I'm feeling withdrawal symptoms again. And I take it to curb the withdrawals again. So I'm trapped by this other thing that it's not even real. It's serving me at no purpose, but I have to keep taking it. Look, man, if you're on kratom right now and it's serving a purpose for you and it's keeping you off the opiates, good, because this is what I have done to get myself off of it. Today is actually the 5th day of the year of 2026, and today is the 5th day with no kratom, whatever. But I was legit going through a kilo. I'm not kidding. This sounds like I'm exaggerating. I was taking a kilo almost every month of this powdered ground plant. Sometimes I'll just scoop it in my mouth and swallowing it. Most of the times, though, I was mixing it with my protein shakes because, I like to get my swole on. And it would help with my soreness and everything. But it's a trap. Don't abuse it. I'm talking to myself. So, So I came up with a plan. And my plan was, and it worked. So far, so good. Because my wife was going to go out of town for the holidays to help her sister with the kids. And I chose this time because I was going to be here by myself because I wasn't sure exactly how everything was going to unfold. Because you can be terribly cranky and no sleep and the hots and the colds because I've experienced the detox, the withdrawals from, pills. I've experienced it from heroin. I've experienced it from methadone. So I had all this trauma locked into my past and dealing with this quitting or trying to quit. So I was worried that I was going to have to be in that cycle again. So what I did, I planned ahead and I took my calendar and I started breaking up my doses and attempting to take less and less and less and less and less and less and basically work myself off. I watched some videos and some people had suggested doing it this way. But what really got me was there is this new form of kratom out there. Hey, look, man, if you're doing a kilo of it a month, you can call it whatever you want. All right. Kratom is what I used to call it a lot. The kratom bomb. There's this new product. It's not. I guess it's not that new, but it was new to me, and I've been seeing it. And it's some form or derivative. It's like 7-HO or something. I don't even want to look into it. Okay, because of who I am. But it's a derivative of kratom that they have turned into a pill. It even looks like you know what they're doing. They're trying to get you trapped into that whole thing again. And I guess it's super habit forming. It's way more powerful. And I'll suggest just don't even do it. Don't even do it. So yeah, so I was taking 12 to 14 tablespoons of this every day. All right, not the pill thing. I never did any of those, but the powder form. And so what I did was I went from that measurement of tablespoon, and I started to take one less tablespoon a day. So I would spread them out, because like literally I was taking sometimes one every hour. I would take sometimes 2 or 3 within, a 30 to 45 minute span, because I was getting ready to go to bed, or I knew I was going to leave the house for a while. So I double up on my doses. Crazy. Because I would start to feel the withdrawal effects. And it wasn't intense, but I knew I could keep them at bay if I just kept going. But during this hiatus of now I'm alone and I can kind of wing myself off, I just started taking one less tablespoon a day. And then it turned into teaspoons. And then I basically worked myself to about 3 teaspoons a day during this month period. And some days were a little more difficult than others, especially when it came time to sleep. And if you're there, if you've experienced it, you already know what I'm talking about. And I'm leaving out some details because I'm trying to make this short, and I don't want to get too crazy, because if you know, you know. So yeah, the last 3 days of the month, and it just worked out this way. It's not like I was doing a New Year's resolution or something, but I knew I needed to get this shit out of my life. Because I was using it for a crutch. I was using it as an excuse. I was using it constantly all day long. And it was starting to affect my mental for sure, but it started to affect my body too. Like, you take that much ground powder of anything, because I'm real big on fasting, and so I would eat 1 meal a day. I still pretty much eat 1 meal a day. That's one of my tricks to staying lean. But I would have, 10 to 12 small little protein shakes like this with the tablespoon of kratom. But I worked myself down toward the last 3 days of the month. I basically got down to 1/4 teaspoons. So the last 3 days, on the 3rd day before the end of the month, I took 0.75 of the kratom, and that lasted. I pretty much would wake up, see how long I could go without taking it, and then on those last 3 days, I was literally using baking measuring things, and I was doing 1/4 teaspoons. On the 3rd day before the end of the month, I took 3. The whole course of the day. Man, whew, it was difficult, but I was here alone, so I could deal with everything. Maybe it would have helped me if someone was here, but I have this weird, I hate asking for help, and I'm getting better. And all these battles that I choose to do alone is something else I'm working on. And that's why I'm sharing with you, because it can help to have people, but I don't know why I do it that way. I always do it this way. At the second day before the end of the month, only 2/4 teaspoons. And by this time, my family's already back. So I'm kind of worried, right? Like, I told my wife what's going on and how I just want to get rid of it, get it out of my life. Because, no one really around me thought I had a problem with it because I'm one of those dudes. But last day of the month, New Year's Eve, I took 1/4 of a teaspoon of kratom. And I haven't taken any since. Today's the 5th of January. And I don't need anyone's applause or, whatever. I appreciate it, but I don't need it. Because, there's a saying like you can't love anyone till you love yourself. Yes, and it applies in this situation too. I believe, you can have a support team, and that's great. But man, that battle is you versus you. And some people need the support. I'm not saying I don't. Yeah. You know what? While I'm talking about it, I hope this video, like legit, I hope this upload, if it's just one person that it helps, sick. I mean, I'm saying sick in a good way. And if you are sick, I would love to help. I'll show you. I don't want to incriminate the company that I get the shit from, but I'm going to show you my evidence. You ready? Here we go. I ain't bullshitting. Check my flavor. Okay. This is an open bag of 1 kilo. These are every month that I open a new one. I'm weird that way. I keep track that way. This was the last bag that I opened. It's dated 11/15/25, and you see how little's in there. I serve myself it from this. I dump it in this to keep it fresh. And there's people that watch my channel that know me from, my my bartending past, because I haven't done that in a while. I'm just trying to. I don't want to. I don't hold this company responsible for nothing. I'm just saying that's a 1 kilo. The flavor of this one is green Malay, and that sucker is unopened. Still. So yeah, I got. It's there if I need it, right? But I don't. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Let me tell you what though. Day 5, I'm feeling pretty good. And I know my stomach is wrecked though. I still got the BGs real bad, bubble guts. But I did it. And so can you. And I know there's some hardcore OG addicts out there that are just like, Dick, you're a pussy. That's a plant that, you know what I mean? You're eating ground up whatever. Okay. But I've done the others too. And I know people suffer with this. So I just want to let you know that you can do it. You can get off. You can. And if you need a 12-step, if you need, something to get off. I just remember, not medical advice, but you don't need to switch this for take it with a grain of salt. Look, there's Suboxone. There's several other things out there in the methadone, opiate receptor blocker category, that it just becomes another addiction, and you have to continue to take it to, yes, fight the urges, the cravings, and the detoxes. But if I can suggest you something, if you can just get clean without anything, and it may be you got to do some of this to get yourself off the more hardcore shit. Everyone's journey is different. But I feel like this whole video is basically, if you're like me, even a little bit, or even more so, and the addictive personality is all about, your story. You're one of those people like me. What's up, by the way? How you doing? You can find better addictions. Look, my body, my athletic build and stuff. Yes, I've been chasing crazy athletic dreams all my life. But I'm addicted to working out and physical and nutrition and health. And somehow I thought this stuff was a healthier choice. It's something an addict would tell himself. But if you can switch your addictions, it can be a superpower. Okay. There's a song that I play in my intros and outros. It's called Toxic Love. It kind of speaks to me in a certain way. Because I have toxic loves with things. But I'm trying to make the love, because love, you can be addicted to love. For sure. I'm trying to love better things for myself and the people around me. I want to encourage you to look for better love. I don't even know if that's what I'm trying to say. Look, man. I feel you, bro. I feel you. And if you're sitting in your room on the edge of your bed, wrapped in a blanket, and sweat's pouring off your face, but you're freezing cold, I have been there. And I know you just want it to stop. I know how dark and how it's like there's no way. Like, where's the light going to come from? It'll come. It will come. I was making jokes about 12-step programs and stuff. It's not. It works for some people. My father was sober for almost a decade before he died. And he did that with using AA because he needed it. He needed a support team. He needed another addiction. And he did. He became addicted to going to AA. And by God Almighty, I slowly got to know that man, but I didn't know my father as a sober human being up until the end of his life. And it was good for him. But he died at 59. And it was because of, those addict decisions, I guess, that he was making. And, whatever. Miss you too, Dad. I know how dark it can be. I know how if you just do it one more time, it'll make you feel good, make you feel better, stop all the DTs. But if you can fight the urge You can get there, man. You can get there. You can do it. Man, I don't even know if I'm going to put this up. But I feel like I should, man. Somebody out there needs to hear this, right? Who needs to hear this? Somebody needs to hear this. Switch your addiction for a better addiction. Replace the negative with the positive. I'm here for you. I swear to God. If you need whatever, hit me up in the comments, man. I haven't put anything up like this. I don't even know what the viewers are going to think that I know, because I do conspiracy theories. Sometimes I do workout stuff or whatever. But whatever, bro. This is my channel. It's Dictate the Day, and Dick has been addicted from way back in the day. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll gain more viewers that are more true to my tribe if they too are suffering from addiction or did, or, you know, whatever. And they're clean and sober now, or they're working on it, or they're, you know, whatever. All right, we're at 36 minutes. Look. Day 5, everybody know Kratom. Hell to the yeah. I love you. Okay? I do. I love you very much. Thank you for checking this out. And man, if you needed this, hell yeah. Or maybe you know someone that does. But there is light at the end of the tunnel, of the detox tunnel. Yeah. Dictate your day, everybody. Dictate your day. And I am. I'm about to go work out. I'm about to go flex one of my good addictions right now. But remember, when you are addicted like I am to just whatever you choose to focus your addiction on, you can overdo it. So there's this, I always constantly try to check myself. Hey, you know, because I have a tendency to overtrain, and it's wrapped up in that addiction shit. So now I take every other day and I just go for a long walk. I try to meditate. And some days I feel like I'm not doing enough, and, you know, it bothers me. But whatever, right? It's a journey. All right. I love you guys. Dick gonna dip. I'll see you on the flip. We'll see how this one goes, huh? I really want to do some new shit for 2026 as far as like the videos go. I really want to do, you know, original content. I like reacting to stuff, and that's great. But I don't know. I tell you what, if you've made it to the end, if you've made it this far, thank you so very much. I appreciate it. And also, if you want to see me do a certain thing, or you want to find out something from me, diet, nutrition, regimen, you want to hear a bartending story, and I know some people want that, whatever. You want some more addiction stories? Yeah, I got some. Tell me what you want to see from Mr. Dick in 2026. Put it in the comments, okay? I got to title this thing and find out some hashtags that, you know, sobriety and kratom and all that stuff. Fun. If you don't know about how the YouTube video works, you got to do that kind of stuff. All right. I think I should play some music on the way out. I feel a little bit of getting that off my shoulders and chest. I've talked about it before. I just haven't gone into detail, and if you need more detail, let me know. But that song I was talking about, Toxic Love, it's this one. And I'm going to let it play a little bit, and if you listen to the words, you'll see. All right. The 5th of January, that's today. I might put up a video tomorrow. We'll see. I might even talk about how I feel about this one being up. You know, whatever. Spread your knowledge. Share your love. I feel like this is a video where I'm doing purely that. because I really want to help someone with this. I'm sharing knowledge of my faux pas from my past, trying not to repeat those in my future. And yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, so this is Toxic Love. Good song, though. Free YouTube music.
I wish I could give you up, but you're my new favorite drug. Enter into my blood, run with my toxic love. Look how you make me happy. You take a hold of me. You take a hold of I wish I could give you up, but you're my new favorite drug. Enter into my blood.
You got this.
Run with my
Dictate your day.
toxic